Hey, this is Trevor from TFK, and you're listening to Dispatch Radio.
All right, folks, we have a great guest. You may know her from Disney's Starstruck. She's been on some great shows, Para King, CSI Miami, American Horror Story. Of course, she is on the ABC sitcom Suburgatory. Now she also co-stars in a film that we've been talking a lot about here on our show, Mom's Night Out. She plays Bridget. Welcome, Abbie Cobb. How are you?
Hey, I'm so great. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm just so excited about this film. I want to talk about some of your other work, but if I understand it, you play Bridget. I guess you co-star along as with Sarah Drew. She's from Grey's Anatomy. You even had an episode of Grey's Anatomy, by the way. So
I did, yeah. I actually had a scene with Sarah way before we even knew we were both doing the movie. So it was so fun to get to know her beforehand.
Tell us a little bit about Bridget and what folks can expect from Mom's Night Out.
Sure. Yeah, Bridget is a teenager single mom, and I think that's a lot of fun to play because I've never done anything quite like that before. The movie actually follows the story of 4 moms. 3 of them have a sort of a traditional family, kids various ages, newborns and toddlers and teenagers, and they go out for a night, and it's sort of like the movie Adventures in Babysitting, where what more could go wrong in one night. They hook up with me. I'm the 4th mom with a little bit of a different family dynamic, being a single mom, and we go on adventures trying to solve the problems all in one night.
Now, when I spoke to John Irwin, we just spoke to director John Irwin about the film. He was talking about bringing a mayhem comedy to life and trying to stick to a faith-based background of having nice, clean fun and all of that. And what was that like for you? I mean, what were kind of some of the ways when you read the script and how you kind of perceived the whole film and what you took away from that?
Yeah, gosh, I can't even talk enough about how much fun it was to not have to worry about what I'm going to wear and if I'm going to be uncomfortable with anything that my character has to say or do. It was so fun to just show up at work and do scenes I was completely comfortable with and laughing the entire time. What I'm so happy about what John and the other director, Andy, are doing is they've created a film that anybody can see, and a comedy where I'm not going to be embarrassed to show my mom and dad or sit between them, because we've got, movies like The Hangover and Bridesmaids, and they did really well, and people think they're really funny, but I just can't watch those movies next to my parents. And so I'm really, really glad that there's finally a movie that's genuinely funny, genuinely exciting, but there's no content that would be inappropriate for families to see together.
Folks, this is a Mother's Day film. It comes out in a few weeks, and you can watch this with your children. You can watch this with your mom or your wife and come away not feeling dirty from it, and that's a nice change of pace compared to some films. And Abbie, what is it like working, you mentioned Sarah a little bit, but working with the cast?
I loved it. They're so fun. I've been watching Sean Astin since I was a little bitty girl in films like The Goonies and Rudy and, of course, Lord of the Rings. And he plays my brother in the movie. Just to see how these people work, Sean and Patricia Heaton, and watch them make movie magic right in front of my eyes and get to participate in that and in that process with them. It was such a treasure. It was a really, really great reward.
You have a pretty long resume, though, of some TV appearances and roles. You were on 90210 for a while, and, of course, you appeared on a lot of different stuff, things like that. So looking at that resume, what's some of the cool stories and things that you've already been able to experience?
Well, let's see. Yeah, like what you just said, 90210 is probably one of the most interesting roles that I did over a long period of time. I played a really mean girl named Cousin Emily in Season 3, and I came back in Season 5. I would say that's probably one of the most fun things I've done because it's so different from my personality, and I was paid to be the most cruel kind of backstabbing person you can imagine, and it was funny, and it was fun, and you never get to do those things in real life, at least I don't. So that was probably really memorable. And then I just finished up a pilot for ABC called Warriors. We filmed up in Vancouver for a month. I play a series regular role on that, a young wife where my husband's coming home from the war in Afghanistan. And that was a reward, too, because I've never played sort of a grown-up, I guess, like a married woman. So that was rewarding in a way. I'm really looking forward to see how that turns out.
Fantastic. Warriors. All right. You also, I mean, you've got quite a resume for such a young actress here. Listen, let's run to this stint that you have going on ABC with Suburgatory. It's a fun little sitcom. Season 3, right?
Yeah, Suburgatory is great. Yeah, we just finished up season 3. We find out whether we'll do a season 4 coming up soon. I play a stupid blonde girl named Kimantha, best name in the whole world. It's a lot of fun. It's a girl who is from the city and moves to the suburbs, and she's trying to find a way to fit in. And so all of us just play the zany, crazy, kooky characters that are in this suburb with plastic surgery and high heels. And it's I don't know. I think it's really fun. It's a funny show.
How is it doing the comedy versus doing, the more serious roles? You had an appearance on American Horror Story, CSI, Longmire, things like that. I mean, it's a huge contrast doing the comedy versus that. How is the approach different?
Gosh, what a great question. It's so much fun to be in the position I'm in where I'm at this age where I'm playing, 16 years old to 20 years old. And I find myself stereotyped sort of into two different kinds of roles. One is the traumatized victim, which is the shows you just named, The Longmire, The True Blood, American Horror Story. I just did an episode of Intelligence on CBS, and it's the same role all the time. It's lots of screaming and crying, and I'm kidnapped and I'm tied to the railroad tracks, and will they rescue me in time? I don't know. Which is so fun to play because I get to really work on my acting chops and do intense kinds of drama. But then on the flip side, I seem to always find myself being cast in comedic roles where I'm the mean girl. I'm always the bossy mean girl that says the funny line to the mean person that's really nice that everyone loves. and that's the Suburgatory and the Jonas LA and the 90210. And it's either one or the other. I've never, ever just played a normal person. But I love it. I love switching it up. I love the variety. I love how it challenges me. And I feel like it makes me a better actress because I'm not always falling into the exact same role. It's one or the other, and I get to switch back and forth.
Mom must be proud. Mom and Dad are thinking, well, she's either the mean girl or the damsel in distress. I mean, my daughter's she's in LA. It's all good. She's mean this week. Next month she'll be the damsel in distress.
Exactly. No, my mom, every time I call her and tell her about it, she goes, okay, are you mean in this one? Can I tell my friends about it? Am I going to have to hide my eyes? What's going on?
Right.
But, they're so proud. They're actually coming out for the premiere of Mom's Night Out next week that they're showing at the Chinese Commons Theater, and I'm very, very excited to show them the movie. I think they're going to love it.
What is the approach like from the faith-based film like this compared to doing like all the TV and some of the other work that you've done? I mean, was the approach on the set? I mean, the Irwin brothers are pretty, very adamant about their tone and their beliefs and how they are. So, do they approach everything from that angle?
That's a great question. I feel like the whole atmosphere on set was different than anything I'd done before, just simply because they're coming at it from a perspective of family friendly. So a lot of people had their families on set. My mom was able to visit the set, which I've never had the ability to do before. And they really check their egos at the door. Not that other kinds of movies or TV shows the directors have egos. That's not what I'm saying. But Andy and Don purposely made a point to check their egos at the door, and best idea wins on set. So there's a lot of improv that actually made it into the movie, and they didn't care if maybe their original idea didn't work, or the original line they thought would be funny wasn't really landing, and so we played with it, we changed it, or they came up with another idea, and we, as actors, we were able to throw out what we had planned and kind of go with the new idea that they had, and I loved that. I feel like it made it a better film, and I'm excited to share that with everyone.
The other resume item that I can't overlook, especially again, not to keep pointing to your age, but being a younger actress, that you already have a book on your resume, stuck on a Ferris wheel. Now, how on earth did you fit in time to write a book? I mean, no offense to your schedule. I'm sure you're so organized. I'm just saying, how on earth did you fit in time to write a book?
That's so funny. That's really funny. I never actually thought about that. I think every time something traumatic or embarrassing or funny or a learning point hit me throughout my days and my work, I would run to my laptop and write it down so that I didn't forget. And then over a period of a year, after collecting enough stories and tidbits and advice and I guess pointers that I wanted to share with everybody, I was able to sort of throw it together in a book format. I teach workshops in the Midwest and on the East Coast for little kids that want to get into acting. And actually, a lot of teenagers too, and some people in their young 20s. A lot of people just don't know how to get an agent or what a headshot looks like, or can they pursue acting from their hometown? And I have the same questions. I moved here from Nebraska, and I didn't know anything. I made so many mistakes that I wish someone had helped me out with so I wouldn't embarrass myself. So as I learned, I just wrote the stories down. I was like, oh my gosh, I did this today, and I'm so embarrassed, and I hope nobody else does the same thing. So after about a year of learning from my failures, learning from good decisions I made, from a couple internships I had, from working on set and having great auditions and having horrible auditions, I felt like I had enough collected that people would benefit from me finding it up and sharing it with the world. And people seem to love it, especially people pursuing acting in Los Angeles.
I'm going to have to get them to send me a copy now. You sold me on this. I got to have a copy to review a copy and have that in my diatribe library.
You should. It's called Stuck on a Ferris Wheel, and the title alludes to the time that I was on set for a horror movie, and I was playing someone on a Ferris wheel, and they forgot about me. They thought I was a mannequin because
oh my gosh,
they're filling up the empty seats, and so I got stuck. And I just kind of equate the ride to pursuing in the entertainment industry, like being at a amusement park and needing help, and it being scary but being fun and all that kind of stuff. So I think you'll like it.
Yeah, I mean, I just, and we really talk a lot about it on the show. We talk about it on the website some, but we really get into, the behind-the-scenes aspects, because I think people are really fascinated, and I think it really helps build a relationship between you, the professional, and your audience, where they start to connect with you better when you peel back the layers and they understand what you go through, and auditioning. And I mean, people think that I just call up Patrick Warburton and he calls me right back, and I'm like, no, you guys understand. He's got things to do. He's got people to see and things to go. And oh, by the way, he's got a family. We were just talking to some folks that wrapped up their TV series. They're on vacation. He fits in a 15-minute call because his kids are in the background. I mean, that's right. We lose sight of you're a normal person. You want to have a life too, right? And oh, I don't know about you. I mean, you're writing books and you're being the mean girl. I mean, you don't have time to be a normal person. I mean, what do you do in your what do you do in your downtime? What's on like the iPod?
Oh gosh, I don't actually do a whole lot of music listening, or podcasts or anything like that. But when I do have time, I'm a big fan of Pandora, and I listen to a lot of Tom O'Dell lately. He's been my hero. I do a lot of hiking to try to stay in shape. I really honestly have just been so busy that I'm going from meeting to meeting to meeting, working up to this premiere, and after just finishing the pilot and preparing for that. So I don't have a lot of free time, but when I do, I enjoy it.
That's what matters the most, isn't it? You're trying to carve out that time for yourself, recharge the batteries, and come right back at it. So with this long resume of shows, especially the one-off type approach to things where, you're on for one episode and that kind of thing.
Right.
Who's somebody that really gave you some advice that even to now, sticks?
Right. Oh, good question. Let me think. I had a blast on Grey's Anatomy. there's an actress I worked a lot with named Sada, and she plays the gorgeous Latina doctor that sort of helped me find my way through the hospital and fix my hand. I think my hand was broken or something in that episode. We had so much time together and so many scenes together that I really connected with her. And she sort of gave me her story about wanting to be an actress. She was on Broadway for a while, won a Tony for Spamalot, and then moved over to TV drama. And I loved her example of coming from the theater and switching over, and she was so kind. The way she treated everyone, from the extra to the PA on the crew to the director to me, just a little guest star coming in and out, was so kind through and through, and that I looked at her and I thought, I want to be like that when I'm a series regular and I'm a big star and have awards like Tony's on my shelf. I want to be that kind of actress. Because there's plenty of times, of course, on the negative side where I come in, I'm there for a day or for a week on one episode, and the lead actresses or actors are a nightmare. And I look at them and I say, ooh, like to myself, like, Abbie, don't you ever become that. Abbie, don't you ever treat people like that. And I sort of make a mental note of what I don't want to become ever, 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 no matter how stressed I am or how hard my work is. So I can learn from both, the good and the bad, and I hope that I remember that as it continues to work.
Well, I hope you're a new fan of Abbie Cobb, folks, and Facebook and Twitter, I assume?
Absolutely, yeah. On Facebook, it's Abbie Cobb fan page. Abbie's with an I-E. And I'm on Instagram, too. It's just Abbie Cobb, A-B-B-I-E, C-O-B-B, and my Twitter handle is The Lovely Abs.
The Lovely Abs. Oh, my goodness. There's so much irony there with this incredible resume and the book and the mean girl and the lovely Abs on Twitter. That's fantastic. We love talking to you so much. Mom's Not Out, folks. It comes out May the 9th, Mother's Day. You can get out and enjoy just a great weekend with a great film that you can walk away with having some laughs and being rejuvenated, spending time with your wife or your mom or your daughters, and not having to worry about all the other drama for a bit. And Abbie has a great role. We look forward to seeing her as Bridget, and we look forward to hearing from her again and talking to her more about some of these shows. Warrior will be coming out. We're going to be excited to hear about Warriors and some of the other stuff, so you'll have to keep in touch.
Yeah, I absolutely will. Thanks so much for having me.
All right, thank you. Take care of yourself.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.